Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back, everybody, to the channel. My name is MurphTurf. Good to have you with us, with me. It's been a couple of days since my last recording, my last upload, and I apologize for that. I'm gonna try to get back into being more regular after this. You know, you want to stay regular. It's important for your health. That's why you should eat lots and lots of fiber. Potty jokes aside, it's good to be back. We're going to be playing Torment, Tides of Numenera. Come! Oh yeah, that's a good idea. Come! Explore this torment with me. Let's have fun. Let's do this. So I just picked up this Otero guy. Or, no, not Otero. Tiber, excuse me. He wants me to save his friend Reese, whom he got into this situation where Reese is being strangled to death by his own magically induced nightmares. Anyway, I'm also looking for Pat Rothfuss's character, but I don't have to worry about that. I just learned because that character's not here.
Of course.
So I'm gonna go around, I'm gonna explore this area a little bit more, see what I can find. I'm gonna speak to this Canadu guy who's got, you know, some Cthulhu-looking science mofo in this cool glowy cage. Hey Canadu, what's up? Ooh, goodness. This large, bald, broad-shouldered man turns to face you. You freeze. It's not his dark cloak or his sledgehammer. It's that beneath his mustache and goatee, he is so ugly that he'd scare his own mother in a dark alley. He gives you an abrupt nod, and you get the distinct impression that here stands a man who enjoys the boredom of standing guard and the company of his own thoughts. Scan thoughts. Slow day. Good. Nothing wrong with a slow day. Nothing to see here until you pay El Ginto, he says when it's clear that you aren't moving on. With that, he returns his gaze to the distant sea. What is that thing in the cage? A Nycthamaran, he says. El Ginto will tell you about it if that's what you want. How did you capture the Nycthamaran? Long story, Kanadu drawls, then falls into silence. Apparently that wasn't an introduction, but an excuse. He sees you staring and adds, Ask El Ginto. He's the talker. I watch the beast. Huh. Well. Huh. Where is El Ginto anyway? He jerks his chin at the man in the pointy hat nearby. Alright, farewell. Hey, El Ginto. In front of you is a weary traveler whose grim visage is mostly obscured by a pointy hat. Upon closer inspection, the lines of his face indicate he has seen much and has many tales to tell. Hello there, friend, he says. Here to see the Nycthamaran? My friend in the cage over there? Or are you just looking to spend a word or two? I have some questions about your Nycthamaran. He's far from mine, friend, El Ginto says with a raspy chuckle. As you'll likely see if I get too close to this cage. He tips his hat at you. Go on, ask your questions. What is a Nycthamaran anyway? A biomechanical union of stubborn curiosity and frothing malice, he says. Who made them, no one can say, but they cannot be trusted or befriended. Cross their paths or thwart their incomprehensible whims, and they'll kill you if they can. Wait, you called the creature a he. Is it male? Could be female, or genderless, or many-gendered. Who can say? I have our friend imprisoned, and I feel better about that fact if I don't call him it. Huh. That's kind of interesting. How did you capture the creature? I suppose you could blame luck, he says. A little early to call it good or bad, though. His eyes seek the sky as he begins his story. I was working on, well, call it a trap in a valley through some nameless ruin. Kanadu was off hunting for dinner, and I work in a daze. Always do when I'm concentrating. A smile flits across his face. Near sunset, the trap was still in pieces, and I heard Kanadu roaring my name. I turned just in time to see our guest bearing down on me. The creature's volley of molten energy cracked off the personal barrier I'd left active while building the trap, but I knew it couldn't hold. Then Kanadu leapt off the valley edge into the Nycthamaran's back, bashing it with his hammer. It shrieked, and then night fell and the creature went still. El Ginto shrugs. I worked, a touch frantically I admit, to finish the trap. It hadn't been designed for our guest, but as you can see, he gestures at the creature. It worked. Scan thoughts. Lucky it did. It gives me a lot of confidence for our trip back to Harak, too. Huh. I don't really care about how he got the creature into the city. I want to ask something else. By all means! What do you plan on doing with the Nycthamarin when you're done showing it off? We're likely to release it and run as if every kind of demon in the world is after us. We're not trappers, see? We're explorers, and we're only in this to save up some coin for a journey across a long patch of ground. He rubs the back of his neck. Not that our motives make much difference to our guest. He'll want to boil our skins once we let him go, and I can't say I blame him. Scan thoughts. We should do it at night, but even then I expect he'll try to kill us. Huh. Interesting. Very interesting. Farewell. Take care, friend. Felinda, what do you have to tell me about? Nearly every inch of this merchant's body is covered in tightly wound robes and furs. A hood obscures its head, and a mask conceals its face. This doesn't stop you from noticing that it is apparently furious with you. Trembling, it bats at its similarly dressed companion. Both of them turn impassive masks back to you. Neither Felinda nor Stirsty can believe it, but the thief has come back. Had she come in shame, ready to return what she had taken? No, her hands were empty, her expression baffled. Felinda crossed swaddled arms. Perhaps the thief had simply forgotten to return what she had borrowed, but this makes her no less a thief. Are you narrating me? The thief said, trying to distract Felinda from the matter at hand, but the merchant would not be distracted. Scan thoughts. Besides, the merchant had been asked this question many times. Wow, they talk like they're in a book. That's great. 10 years ago, this thief had borrowed a book. Felinda wondered if the scoundrel was possibly unfamiliar with the definition of the word. It did not mean taking a thing and keeping it, after all. Stirsty pointedly returns to work, ignoring you both. Felinda sighs, massaging its temples with gloved hands. But in the end, Felinda took a deep breath and asked the thief to simply return the sealed and long overdue book with the 5-colored sigil on its cover. How can you possibly remember who borrowed a book from you 10 years ago? The cunning thief said, hoping to arouse doubt in Felinda's mind, but the hope was a foolish one. Felinda was memory in the same way that the thief was fatty tissue, fluids, and chunks of calcium. The merchant crosses its arms. Felinda was out of patience. Was the thief going to return the book or not? I can't promise anything, but I'll look for it. The thief muttered, ashamed, but Felinda was satisfied. Temporarily. And with that, the merchant returns to its work as well. Ooh, I got my gold tide raised. Huh.
I'll remember that.
Okay. I wonder if I'm going to be able to find this book. Hey there, Stirsty. The silent merchant traces dark fingers over a cracked scroll. It appears to be ignoring you as politely as possible.
I'm ready.
It can ignore me all it wants. I wonder if I want to visit the arms merchant. The genocide! Well, that sounds intense. What is this? This machine towers above you like a dagger driven into the ground by a giant. It seems much older than the surrounding buildings. Your hands itch to touch the array of dark panels scattered around the machine, as though they have touched them before. Alright, I'm going to leave it alone. I'm going to quick save, and then I'm going to touch it. Anamnesis. Try to remember why this machine feels so familiar. Ooh. I'm going to do it. I've fully depleted one of my stat pools. To recover your stat pools, you can find a place to sleep or use consumable items and ciphers. Got it. Success! I close my eyes to better concentrate, sinking into the currents of a memory that does not belong to me, or at least not to the body I'm in. And I hear the thunderous heartbeat of the operational generator calling you from across centuries. I'll go back to you. I was a little clumsy. You open cold, focused eyes, ignoring the screams, the drifting tangles of black smoke. Your attention is solely focused on the health of the machine's heartbeat. You reach into the hissing guts of the generator, adjusting and tuning, hoping. The heartbeat fades into the past. Your hand, your body's hand, rests on the rusty surface of the long-dead generator. Huh, cool. Hey there, genocide. This burly, armor-clad figure stands almost motionless as you approach. He regards you silently through his singular eye. The studs on his arms and the blades on his shoulders are stained and pitted with age. When he speaks, his voice is muffled and artificial, a hollow grumble that emanates from the entirety of the helmet.
I am the genocide. If you ask, I must answer. Pass on, then, and exchange no words.
Cool. His surface thoughts are like a crystal pool, alternately transparent or else perfectly reflecting his words. His mind reveals nothing hidden, except for a low-level hatred of everything around him. This latter is more a feeling you get than an actual thought you hear. What are you?
I am a blade that cannot cut, a weapon that cannot strike, a living monument to failure.
He shifts his weight. You hear the frown in his voice.
I was Ogesti Telkotu, the firm hand of tradition. They called me one of the Black Three. Enemies did not understand us. They took my name to mean death in a dozen distinct tongues, called me Orphan Maker, Hope Smasher, Death's Child. My armies blackened the earth and the skies. My dragoliths scoured the land. Domination was my duty.
Ooh, scary.
If they had known, if they had welcomed us, they might have been our thralls. Instead, they became dust.
He gestures.
All this, it was to have been mine in stewardship for the future of my people. It was promised, but now...
His arm falls back to his side.
Now, I am the genocide, a relict, the last of my kind.
What? He is a terrible person, and I am glad he is the last of his kind. You said you were the last of your kind. Why?
I know of no others. Kalagat Anvor, he who shares truth and understanding, is dead. Bostelelo, the blinding light of reason, was destroyed. The underspine has fallen. My people are destroyed utterly, and our servant God speaks to us no longer. The clean lines of order and the glory of battle have forsaken us.
He pauses.
The rest are dust. We rose against a superior foe, and were outmatched. Only I remain to tell the story of the Tabat.
You said that you had to answer if I asked. Why? From within the helmet you hear a grinding noise, the sound of teeth gnashing, amplified. Then the voice again, bleak.
We sat at the river's edge, and we wept for the time that was. We saw nothing more to conquer, and yet our fears still drove us. We had conquered the land, purged its impurities, made it ours. Still, we wanted more. When we heard that humans had come to carve a home, we rejoiced to have a new foe, a new test of our truth. We rode against them. We drove them to the forge of the night sky, to the valley of Mra Jolios, to the dangers of the Black Riage. But those who built atop those ruins, they thwarted us, time and again. And so we brought our constructs and our deadliest warriors to the bay outside the city. We laid a mighty siege. We entered the human settlement. We fought past barricades and traps. Some of our constructs are still here, silent and dead. But when we thought we had achieved our greatest victory...
He lowers his head.
A powerful Nano saved them. With his magics he called upon the strength of the ancients and captured us. I thought my life was at an end, but he imprisoned me in slow time, trapped me in my body, used machines to paralyze my will. I still remember our glories, and I see the faded future in front of me, and I am powerless to act. The memories of our triumphs remain always at the forefront of my mind, and I must answer the mocking questions of these people, or suffer.
Ha ha ha! That's what you get for murdering other species. Ha! Can you tell me about the Nano who trapped you here? How did he stop you? I'm wondering if the Nano is, the changing god. The genocide raises his hands in defeat.
He found old knowledge and made it his own. He created defenses that we could not penetrate. Most telling, most effective, the shield generators. He created 3 barriers around the heart of the city, and the last unmoored the city in time. When our constructs touched it, they flashed to stasis. We could not reach the city, but the city could reach us.
Yeah, time shenanigans. This makes me think of Girl Genius, where a whole city gets trapped in a time bomb, and it's pretty cool. You feel the ticklings of memory as the genocide speaks of the shields. He continues to talk, oblivious. Let the memory come. The memory from the orb in the labyrinth comes upon you again, stronger than before, but now you remember it as it happened, not as you wished it had. You fought against the woman with the invisible blade, and you crept past the guard at the base of the stair, and you descended into the basement of your tower. You activated generators, and ascended to the command platform on the heights. Ah, that was that battle. This is cool. The nearby panels buzz and crackle with unseen energies. The shields, you mutter. We need the shields now! You press several buttons. A generator coughs into life, and the lights flicker for a moment. A faint veil of energy encircles the city, and then there is a strange and terrible stillness, as if the world held its breath. The rest of the memory is bloodshed. The humans of Sagus Cliffs made the stranded Tabot pay. And then the memory fades. You know now that the Nano who saved the city became the Changing God. You know it was he who defeated the Tabot. You remember the hatred. But you do not remember the girl who was with you. What was her name? The genocide watches you silently. I knew it. Okay, so it was not the Changing God. It was the apparently super powerful mage who would eventually ascend. Huh. So many things. The Nano who defeated you was the Changing God. He and his children still live. His voice is flat and dead.
Others have claimed this. I do not know if they say this to torment me, but if our enemy was a god, even if he was once but a man, then to stand against him is to spit in the face of the divine. The Tabot were a holy people. Humans do not believe it, but our rites were as sacred to us as they were profane to your kind. We accepted the will of the ineffable.
Well, that's why you were a bunch of asshole murderers.
Any who still live may yet find the mantle of godhood. To be divine is to be beyond the rule of mortal ethics. Those who would be gods must cast aside these concerns if they are to turn against the old teachings.
I don't know. I feel like a lot of ethical things turn against the old teachings. Like, the old teachings teach us a lot. Like, homosexuality is a sin, and women should stay at home, and those things are pretty messed up, and I think it's a really good thing that, we turn against the old teachings in a very ethically and moral way. Well, that's pretty much all I'm curious about. I don't want to sit here and learn everything about this world and just keep talking to this guy, so... Yeah, let's do it. Let's move on. Don't want to talk to any performers. I do need to go talk to these people over here, though. What's this thing? This structure is embedded in the ground. It was clearly not made by the same people who built Circus Minor. It looks as though the device extends deeper into the ground below the road. Weathered runes are spread across the device's surface. Gonna leave it alone. There we go. Cultist camp. Look! Look! It is one of the Death Cheetah's vessels! Ah! Can it be? What fortune! What joy! Casmine will want to see you, Vessel. And Mimian, too. Okay, good to know. Where do I find them, though? Where are they? Ah, there they are. Hey there, Casmine and Mimian. Oh, whoa! Check out this purple thing. What's this? As you approach the clock... It's a clock? That's like some Icarium shit right there. As you approach the clock, there is a pause in the argument the duo next to it are having. The petite woman turns towards you. Her hair is unusual, a light, almost yellow color, and her bright eyes dominate her pretty face. Excuse me, but my colleague and I are having a discussion, and... Her eyes fall upon your tattoo, and her breath catches audibly in her throat. Mimian. Her partner is an unnaturally tall man, gaunt and sour-faced, his voice sonorous, with fingers that twitch and weave through strange contortions. Occasional light sparks in the air as he does. He turns to you and opens his mouth to speak, registers your tattoo, and closes it again. His throat bobs for a moment, and he says, "It is an honor." Aligern. He nods his head to the two of them. "I've brought someone you should meet." He turns to you. "These are Casmine and Mimian. They're leaders of the local branch of your church." "You have our thanks for the introduction, Aligern. Our deepest thanks. He eyes the Aeon Priest for a moment, as if about to say more, but thinks better of it. Scan thoughts. Interesting. Allegorn has rarely been so helpful to us in the past. Wonder if Allegorn is not as trustworthy as he wants to seem. Let's find out. Mimian, he collects himself. If I might impose upon your time for a moment, will you tell me about your tattoo? How did you shape it? Do you know why it differs from the others? Scan thoughts. I'm having trouble placing her. Could it be... I need more time to question her. Others? You mean other cast-offs? Yes, revered one, your siblings. He bows deeply and his fingers spark with a repressed joy. You are a child of the changing god. His mind saw the world through your eyes. He gained knowledge in your body, as he has done countless times over the centuries. The tattoo on your head marks you. We theorize it has a role to play in his creation of you, his cast-off shells. You are welcome here, revered one. We stand ready to serve as we can. Have you any questions for us? Ooh, excuse me. Who are you? He considers your words before answering, a thoughtful pause. I am Mimian. I am one of the leaders of the cult of the Changing God in Sega's Cliffs, and my primary duty is as chief archivist. My colleague is Casmine. She is responsible for the day-to-day administration of our encampment. An administrator. What? No, I don't need to know about the city. Do you know anything about the sorrow? That's a good place to start. Casmine, she shudders and touches herself ritualistically on the forehead and on her lips. A monster of deepest nightmare. I have heard that it wants you dead. Every one of the Holy One's creations, all dead. I don't know why, but it hates you. Can you tell me about the meaning of this tattoo again? Oh, we already did that. He bows. You are a cast-off of the Changing God, our inspiration, the man who has cheated death for centuries so that he might accumulate wisdom. He wears bodies like clothes and abandons them when he has exhausted his studies in them. Yet when he leaves, a spark of consciousness remains. Your consciousness, revered one. What can you tell me about, my sire? You mean the most accomplished inventor of our time? The hero of Sega's Cliffs? The man who dodged death himself? The Time Weaver? The man who destroyed the Tabat? Oh, we have so much to say! She catches herself. But perhaps we should wait for another time. Do you know anything about a device called a resonance chamber? Rumor and conjecture, nothing more. Idle speculation from those who wish to pretend to a knowledge of your sire's motivations, passed along as fact. He leans out to touch you. Have you seen it? Do you know where it is? What it does? I'm gonna play it safe here because I don't trust religious fanatics. I don't know anything about the resonance chamber, but I was told you might. He smiles slightly and spreads his hands in apology. Not as much as I should like, but we have ways to find answers. His eyes trawl your face, and it seems as if he is on the verge of understanding something. It is said by those loyal to your sire that the chamber is the solution to the sorrow, the creature that hunts you all. Scan thoughts. I am certain now. We haven't met this one yet. These people make me nervous. We don't know how, though. Casmine says. She bows her head slightly. We take this as an article of faith. The resonance chamber will save you. Mimian, he looks sharply at you now, all distraction gone. I do not recognize you, he says. You do not match any descriptions we have recorded. Casmine, she snaps her fingers as if she is finally figuring out a mystery. Wait, let me remember your face. She studies you carefully. Oh my. You're new. Are you the Changing God? Can it be? She reaches out to touch your sleeve and pulls her hand back quickly. No, I'm not the Changing God. His eyes flicker towards you, and his mouth... Oh, Allegorn. His eyes flicker towards you, and his mouth draws down for a moment, but he says nothing. Mimian, he nods, satisfied. As I thought, you are a cast-off, one of his children. He touches you with his long-fingered hands, as if in consolation. There is no shame in such a thing. Many cast-offs have come to our attention, and some of them have sought to deceive us, so they might seem more important. He smiles softly. If you are as new as we suspect, it is better for you. For us, to know the truth of your existence, than to bluster and lie. Alright, so you approve, okay. Casmine, crestfallen, she touches your shoulder. Are you sure you're not? She catches herself. No. Why would you lie about that? Well, I mean, if I'm the changing god, I probably would lie about that. With a noticeable effort, she wrenches herself into optimism and she chirps, But you're new, aren't you? You're new! Have you decided what you'll do? What you'll be? Your sire's other children have done amazing things, amazing! And no doubt you will as well. Mimian, he lays a hand on her shoulder and his voice is low, cautionary. Cass. She looks away from you for a moment, swallowing sudden tears, and he says, We have a request for you. Ah, boy, story quest. Mimian, he gestures towards the clock behind him. Dark figures circumambulate these clock faces. I theorize that your sire's creation of the time, shields that protected this city's established a connection with his future selves. Given this, we believe those figures may be cast-offs, or ghosts of cast-offs perhaps, the living shells of the bodies your creator has worn previously. Whoa. Mimian, his fingers shrug eloquently for him. The clock is unmoored in time, you see. Oh yeah, so many Icarium vibes from this. The clock is unmoored in time, you see. We do not have a knowledge sufficient to investigate, but you might. You have a connection with he who created the clock. You should be able to align it with the present time and uncover who these figures are. A gentle, rare smile appears. If you cannot, at least you will increase our store of knowledge. Casmine, she smiles bravely, looking between Mimi and you, and says, And then we can answer the questions you must have, right, Mim? Do you have any idea how to fix the clock? We have tried. I have appealed to the order of truth. I have spoken with eminent seekers of knowledge. We have sent for wisdom from as far as the steadfast. A great achievement, you must agree. None have given us an answer. We believe your sire created the device or had a hand in it. Perhaps dismay dances across his fingers. Casmine, his hungry-eyed compatriot, steps in. Perhaps you can find an answer where others have failed, and then we can help you. She turns away. You will have our boundless gratitude, revered one.
Making a note.
And for now, best of luck. I think I want to sleep before I try this because I'm down to 0 intellect points, so... Embedded in the cliff wall is a massive structure that clearly predates the buildings that surround it. Map. Do we have to the underbelly? Is that way? The execution ground, the Prada, the arms merchant. It doesn't look like there's an inn here. The clock, the cultist encampment. I'm gonna see what's across this bridge quickly and up that, I also need to go to the government district so I can help out Tiber's friend. Sega's townspeople. Not too worried about that. Okay. That's another place to leave the area. It goes to Cliff's Edge. I think that's where the character I really want is. But let's check the upstairs quickly first. Run, run, run. Running across the fields. Across the fields. Running up the stairs. Different scene transition. That one goes to the government square. That's the place we need to go. Alright, going back down. Alright, I'm gonna quick save. And I'm gonna see if I can fix this clock.
Fine.
This complex machine towers over you. Its purpose is unclear, but the 3 circular faces set into the ground remind you of clocks. Something is wrong with the machine, however. It's partially transparent, shimmering in the air when you look directly at it. The clock faces seem to show several different times at once. Humanoid silhouettes ripple beneath the central clock face. One places his hand against the face as though it were a glass wall. They seem to be watching you. Examine the machine. The towering mechanism wavers in the air. Similar to Calistege, it appears to be in several states at once, though all the machine's states are in the exact same location. You can't touch it either. Your hand passes right through the structure. As you pull your hand away, a memory strikes you as powerfully as if someone took a club to your chest. You are working at the clock. It is no longer transparent, but perfectly solid. There is a noise behind you. So they've come. The three traitors. They think to surprise you, but through the powers of the clock, you have foreseen this moment. There is the faintest sound of metal sliding against leather. You slap a hand on the central clock face, activating the clock's arcane powers. You're not sure what it will do to them, but it's better than what they'll do to you. There is a flash. Arcs of energy stretch out from the clock over your shoulders to your would-be attackers. You don't see what happens to them, but they quickly disappear, along with their screams. As the last shreds of the memory fade, a swirl of energy passes through your body. Cold barbs prick every muscle. Suddenly, tidal forces arc from the clock to three ancient devices in the cultist encampment. The clock recognized something inside you. Or maybe vice versa. Either way, you have inadvertently activated the nearby devices. Ah! Oh my goodness! Oh no! What do I do? Ah! Alright. Okay. Alright. So this is the city of origin for the changing god. Addendum added. Fallen to earth. Addendum? Addendum? Fallen to earth. Fix the clock at Circus Minor. Investigate the figures that are trapped inside. So much for the addendum. Huh. What do you have to say about that, Mimian? We struck a bargain, revered one. We would be poor in spirit indeed if we did not honor our promises. Yet I see the clock remains unfixed, and you bring us no new knowledge of its workings. He bows regretfully. Oh, fine. You need me to go talk. Did you just see the lights I shot out of it? Into places in the ground? Come on, man. Alright. What's it gonna do? More memories. As you approach this device, Circus Minor is thrown into chaos. Buildings are on fire. People are screaming and running for their lives while armored soldiers hunt them. None of them seem to pay any attention to you, though. It's some kind of vision, not reality. You glance down at the device. A series of images flit across its surface. They don't appear related to the changes around you. You see faces of other people and places, all of them familiar. I'm going to examine the images on the surface of the device. As soon as you focus on them, you feel a warmth on your head where your tattoo is. The images respond to your thoughts, showing and changing at your whim. It's something about your body that allows you to do this, which perhaps means that only you can even see the images. You immediately recognize the pictures as pieces of memory, specifically, the three memories you saw back in the fathoms of your mind. Huh, okay, I'm gonna look at the memory of the underwater city. The memory is recent. Two men, both with tattoos like your own, are in an underwater city searching for something. The denizens of the city chase them from the artifact they seek and ultimately surround and capture them. As you review the memory, you get a strange feeling in your mind that you can only describe as a query. The device wants something from you. Suddenly you remember, the memories in the device are possibilities, but you can lock one of the memories here so it is the only one that displays. You don't remember what purpose that served, though. Look at the memory in the lush valley. Somehow you know the memory is from a long time ago, centuries ago probably. A man and a woman, both with tattoos like your own, are surveying a lush, secluded valley, seeking an ideal location for a hidden sanctuary. Look at the memory of the city under siege. Somehow you know this memory is ancient. It might have occurred 1,000 years ago. A man and a young girl race through the streets of Sagus Cliffs. All around them, the city is attacked by a terrible people. The Tabat, you recall. The man takes them to an ancient machine somewhere in the city. Then he and the girl disappear. I'm going to look more closely at the changes around me quickly. Circus Minor is under attack. Squads of armored soldiers roam the streets, hunting and killing anyone they find. Mobs of people flee in terror, with only few hapless souls trying, and failing, to fight them off. The soldiers are completely encased in jagged metal armor. You can't even tell if they're human. Looking beyond the carnage, the square in this vision looks wildly different. Many of the buildings that are on fire don't exist at all when you step away from the device, having been replaced by other structures. Alright, I think I'm going to lock the Lush Valley into the device, because I like Lush Valleys and I like sanctuaries. Although, ancient memory of the besieged city... No, I'm going to go with the Lush Valley. The images of the man and woman in the valley are now the only images that play across the surface of this device. They survey the valley in an endless loop. Look closely at the changes around me again. Nope, it's the same. Alright, leave the device alone. For the moment. Okay, alright, I'm gonna go do the next one. Might be that I have to, like, lock them in a certain order, but I guess we'll find out. A strange feeling comes over you as you approach this device, as if someone were sneaking up on you from the corner of your eye. When you look, there's no one there. It feels like something is different, though, but you can't put your finger on what. A series of images flit across the surface of the device itself. They don't appear related to the changes around you. You see faces of other people and places, all of them familiar. Oh, wait, no, you know what I probably have to do? Lock the correct memories in. So this seems like maybe the recent memory will go in this one. So I'm gonna lock that in. Images of the two men in the underwater city are now the only images that play on the surface of this device. They search for something, are chased, and then are captured, over and over again in an endless loop. Alright, I'm gonna leave the device alone. I'm gonna go back to this device and do Sega's Cliffs, and we're gonna see if the other device maybe has something to do with home or sanctuary, and lock that in. Unlock the memory, and lock the ancient memory of the besieged city into this device, and leave the device alone. Alright, last one. Let's see if I'm right on my hunch here. As you approach this device, Circus Minor changes around you. People are dressed differently and speak differently. Whole new structures appear, including an enormous building rising from the edge of the square. You look at the device. A series of images flit across its surface. They don't appear related to the changes around you. Alright. Middle memory. As soon as you lock this third image, a final surge of energy arcs through the air from the device to the clock itself. The clock shines for a moment, then becomes solid, fixed into a single state. At the same time, the device in front of you goes dark. The images disappear, as does the strange view of the city's past. Ha ha! 3 XP, I knew it! Ooh, it wommed at me. Oh my goodness. Whoa. It's ticking and talking. Yes! Look at me figuring out riddles with my brain. Oh my god, it's so loud. Hey, Mimian, what you gotta say about this? You fixed the clock! I knew you could do it! I knew it! She shoots a triumphant smile at Mimian. You must tell us what you saw! Who were those figures? Were they cast-offs? What did they say? Were you able to retrieve them? Patience, Cass. We must first congratulate our guest. He turns to you. Masterfully done, revered one. A performance worthy of your sire. He bows gravely to you. You are most welcome here. He frowns. Unfortunately, your task is not entirely complete. We told you our price. That decision stands. Okay. Wait, what? Alright, I got it working, but I don't know enough not yet? Alright. The machine is solid now. Each of the 3 clock faces shows a single time, though none of them point to any time measurement that you understand. You lean closer to the central clock face. 3 shadowy figures still lurk within, their features almost discernible now. Suddenly the figures surge out of the clock towards you. Intense pressure strikes your head like a steel spike. Then everything goes black. Okay. Ooh, I wonder if this will get my stuff back. I really need some intellect. I probably should have rested before I did this. Oh, yep, here we go. I'm in my mind palace. Eat your shit out, Sherlock. Oh, they did an Escher painting. That's awesome. That's actually really great. Yes. I love this, like, stairway that goes nowhere and infinitely loops. Alright, we've got Kamos, Diviatiku, and Villain. Let's start with Villain. Hey, Villain. The 3 figures before you are disoriented. They don't even seem to notice you at first. All 3 of them have a tattoo like yours. Cast-offs. Kamos. What befell us? The woman is dressed in a powerful-looking armor. Her face bears several scars, yet her eyes have the innocence of a child. Did he do something? Are we still in the clock? Scan thoughts. What new torture does the changing god have for us? Oh, hey, that's... uh-oh. I do not believe so. The second figure is tall, dressed all in black. Its height is exaggerated further by a violet, fish-like crest on the top of its head. Its large yellow eyes are squinted, scanning all around. There was a woman outside the clock, But it wasn't... It was her. The third figure points at you. He is small, wiry, and tense as though he expects danger. He carries a shield on his back. She's a cast-off, he says, looking at your tattoo. Can't say I recognize her, though. Who are you? The woman steps forward. We beg your forgiveness, friend, sister. We have been through quite the trial. I am Kamose. These are my friends, Diviatiku and Villan. We are cast-offs, like you. She looks you up and down, her brow slightly furrowed despite her kind demeanor. We were ingested into your head. I saw it. How is that possible? He eyes you suspiciously. Who are you? I'm a cast-off like you. I'm the latest one. I'm a cast-off like you. Nobody. I'm a victim here like you. I don't know what's going on. I'll ask the questions. What are you doing in that clock? I'm a cast-off like you. I'm the latest one. Ah, Silvertide and Goldtide. Okay. The latest? She raises one eyebrow significantly higher than the other. That's not possible. We faced the changing god mere days ago. You are not the body he wore. Well, he might have... Wait, how long have I been here? Whoa, that's intense. I think we might have been trapped in that clock for centuries, Kamose. Something about it messed with our perception. The Varjellen looks up at the ceiling, or where the ceiling would be if there were one. Time is an illusion. How long is the wrong question? It turns its enormous, bulbous eyes to you. What is this place? Where are we? Scan thoughts. Outside time. We were. Perhaps still are. Somewhere in my mind, I think? The Varjellen shuts its eyes. 6 nostrils open wide as it inhales deeply. Yes, perhaps you are right. Our consciousnesses were ripped from our bodies when the changing god activated his clock. Then, when you appeared, it happened again. Our minds ripped from their chronal prison. It looks to its friends. I cannot be certain, but I believe this is part of some vast mental construct. He turns to you. Your mental construct. Villain, his eyes become nearly as large as the Varjellen's. What? You mean we just went from one prison to another? He grips you by the shoulders. You did this! If this is your mind, then let us out! I don't know how to get out of here. Relax, friend sister. Whether for days or centuries we survived that clock, we will survive this. If time is an illusion, then it is not our enemy. We will find a way. Why did the changing god trap you in the clock? Yes. She looks down, embarrassed. The 3 of us once worked alongside our sire, helping him with his research after he'd brought the Order of Truth to Sega's Cliffs. We saw him for what he was. Selfish. Arrogant. Scan thoughts. Maralel helped us to see. I wonder what has become of her since we were imprisoned. Aww. He doesn't care about us. Not a single one of his children. That was Villain, in case you couldn't tell. He crosses his arms and looks away bitterly. All of his projects were always about him. He didn't care if anyone got hurt in the process. We betrayed him. Unlike the others, the Varjellen looks you directly in the eye. We meant to stun him, to capture him before he could escape to another body, but he was too quick for us. He activated the clock, tearing our minds from our bodies, and trapping us eternally. Ah, so these are the 3 betrayers. I see. Why can't you get us out of here? Weren't you listening? We were trapped in that clock for centuries. I'm looking for a way out, believe me. But if Diviatiku says it's your mind, then it's your show. So long as we live, there is hope. One of us will find a way. Let me look around. I'll be back. Don't give up hope, friend sister. No, I don't exactly know what I'm going to look around for.
I'm going.
Yeah, there's tabs not doing anything. I'm running in a curious, constantly uphill circle because Escher is awesome. The 3 of them mutter to each other, looking around this strange place as they try to find another way out. Well met, sister. Have you discovered anything new about our predicament? I don't see any way out. The Varjellen stretches its neck, putting its face within a handspan of yours. It seems to be examining you, then it says, Your mind. Only you have the power to change. What he's trying to say is that this place was created for your body, or perhaps by your body. Our sire placed within each of us unique gifts and abilities. For example, I have never heard tell of another cast-off who could trap consciousnesses the way that you have. She gives you a warm smile. He would not have created this space for you without also giving you a means by which to move through it. Think, what other gifts did our Creator bestow upon you? Huh. I built a path out of a deep fathom in my mind by recovering memories I had lost. Perhaps, if there were any memories here to recover. Villain, he curls his lip and looks around. Maybe I just don't know what memories look like, but I don't see anything. It would seem that we are in agreement, villain. I chose an aspect of myself when I was born, deep in the heart of this labyrinth. Is that it? Divyataku shakes his head. I can see what you speak of, it says, and you get a momentary impression that its eyes can see through you. This aspect describes you, just as I am Varjellen. Villain is observant. Kamose is foolish. I object to that characterization! Villain, he gives a kind chuckle. He's not wrong, and you know it. At her wounded look, he raises his hands placatingly. It's the truth! Anyway, you've gotten us out of twice as much trouble as you get us into. I like their dynamic. Divyataku, the Varjellen speaks to you. These aspects are descriptions of who we are, but they are not us. That you chose your aspects says quite a lot, but I do not believe that is enough to set us free. I am what they call a nano. Villain, he laughs. So's the Varjellen, but you don't see him barking about it. You see, that's just the type of thing that you do. It was a path you chose, not something our sire gave you, nor a means to freedom. I don't think I have the ability you're talking about. You must! She looks at her companions and back to you. We each have our gifts, given to us by our sire for a specific purpose. His purpose, of course, but a purpose nonetheless. She presses a hand to her chest. They say, for example, that, foolish though I may be, I have 9 magical gifts of speech. That is not something I chose nor learned, but it is who he made me to be. Villain, he rubs his hand along the edge of his shield. I am a master of defensive arts. Our sire learned them when he was in my body. Probably built my body to excel at it. I wouldn't call it a gift, but it's me, yeah. Divyataku. I am one with the shadows. I live in them. I breathe in them. This is not some esotery I discovered, but a unique ability our sire chose for me while he was in my body. Kamose, she gives you a kind smile. The gift is in you. Perhaps you have just forgotten? Our sire wouldn't have made this place for you without granting you the power to get out. Focus. Find the answer and find inside yourself. Shut your eyes. Search your memories for this ability they speak of. You rifle through your memories, past everything you actually remember to those memories you didn't create yourself. There must be a key or a door, anything that would help you to escape this fathom of your mind. Just as you're about to give up, you find something, a cluster of sparks, nascent abilities deep within the core of your being. You sense the abilities to speak eloquently, to use a shield with a master's skill, to lurk among the shadows as though they were home. None of these seem particularly suited to creating a path out of this place, but as you sift through them, you know that you are trapped here, not because it is some puzzle your sire left for you to solve, but because you are not yet whole. This is another part, the last part, of deciding who you are. In completing yourself, you will be able to open a path back to the calm of your mind. Yay, 100 XP! I get to select my focus. Your focus grants you additional abilities regardless of your chosen type. Each provides benefits both in battle and out of it, and is geared towards a particular approach. I could have a silver tongue. You know the right thing to say in every situation. There is no obstacle that cannot be overcome with words. I like that. I'm in this for the role-playing. That's probably what I'm going to do. Breathe shadow. You hide in the folds between dimensions, evading even the most watchful eye. Emerging, you rend reality and your enemies along with it. Awesome. Master's defense. You study techniques to defend yourself and others, physically and mentally, in any situation. So, Breathe Shadow sounds amazing. Master's defense would be fine in a different playthrough, but I'm going to go with Silver Tongue. And get that natural charisma. +1 on persuasion, deception, and intimidation tasks. I like it. Portal! So it seems like maybe I absorb other cast-offs and their abilities? That's it! You did it! Does this mean we can go back to the real world? I don't think so, villain, but it does mean we are free. Finally. He turns to you. Thank you, friend. Go. We will follow. Scan thoughts. Something's not right. Shadows. Angels. It's safer for her to go first. Ah, you devious motherfucker. Alright, fine. I'll be your guinea pig. I'm cool with that. Here I go. Oh no, it's one of the things. Oh no, oh no, oh no. Ow. Please don't kill the people in my mind. They don't deserve it. They've been trapped in a clock for centuries. I think it's really weird how they call debuffs fettles. Oh, hello, new part of my mind palace. No, they didn't make it. They're probably dead. The Spectre. I saw what happened. Are you alright? That thing almost killed you. Wait, is this the old man again? I need to do my old man voice. What did happen? It blasted you out of that part of your mind. His voice is somber. The sorrow must be gathering its strength, taking spaces in your mind to keep you from reaching your full potential. I don't know why it doesn't just destroy you. Maybe the fragments aren't strong enough yet. It's alright though. We have more important things to do, right? Like get that chamber fixed. Something feels odd about this man, but it takes a while to put your finger on it. It's his thoughts. They aren't there. Or rather, they're there, but they're indistinct. A kind of white noise that blends in all too well with the background hush of this place. Are you always here? He shrugs. Where else could I be? I found the resonance chamber, but it's broken. Yeah, I saw that. I don't see everything you do out there in the world, but I definitely saw that. You have to find a way to fix it. How did activating the clock in the real world open that other fathom? Who knows? It probably triggered something in your mind, made a bridge you didn't have before. Maybe you did have the bridge once, but you lost it. Could other fathoms open like that? Maybe. You've already made a lot of changes to this place. At this point, nothing would surprise me. Your thoughts are fuzzy. Why can't I read them? His voice is dry, but his smile takes some of the sting from his words. I imagine it's because we're in a place of pure thought. I'm a construct of pure thought, and that our conversation is taking place on the level of thoughts. Most things here aren't real. It'd be like reading your own mind. How do I get back this time? The portal's still there. I don't see why it wouldn't work twice. If this is my mind, why don't I remember this place? I feel like I would already know that, but I just want him to talk some more. I told you as much as I know. It's your mind, and that means you're in control. You just need to figure out how to unlock its secrets. I don't know how, but I think the resonance chamber will do that for us. It'll unite us, make us whole again. Oh, you're the changing god, aren't you? That's what I'm getting right now. I really like, if I'm right about this, and that is the changing god, I really like that I've given him, like, high-pitched old man voice. That's awesome. Is there anything to do while I'm here? You mean apart from the cabaret acts, distilleries, and endless adventures just behind the next wrinkle in your mind? He jabs you in the arm with his elbow. Ha! And if you believe that... Sorry, but it's your mind. There's nothing like that here, I've looked. Still, you've changed things plenty already. I wouldn't be surprised if something showed up here eventually. Huh, that would be fun. I think I'm ready to go. Farewell. Good luck!
Yes.
Is it down? Is it up? Is it sideways? Is it left? Is it right? Heyo. This is the place where I fought that thing. And, alright, goodbye. Goodbye, Mind Palace. Till next time. Oh my god! Huh, that's cool. Quests can change while I sleep, which means that I can run out of my pools, but maybe I won't be able to refill them. Ah, man, stat allocation is going to be real difficult, isn't it? Okay, alright. Will you talk to me yet, Mimian? Ah, you returned to us. and you have completed your task. What did you see inside the clock? Tell us! She is nearly breathless with excitement. I can say, I don't have to tell you. Figure it out for yourself. I'm gonna tell them I met Kamose, Diviatiku, and Villain. Blue Tide raised a small amount. Disappointment creases her face. I know these names. They're not new to us. They were favored servants of your creator, cast-offs who served him well. Indeed, Diviatiku brought the Order of Truth to Sega's cliffs. But they betrayed their holy trust and disappeared. Mimian sighs. Nevertheless, we will honor our arrangement. You sought answers about who might repair the resonance chamber. We know that your sire built it with the aid of another cast-off, still unknown to us. Perhaps one of your siblings might know where to find him. Or her. I know of only one other cast-off still in the city, the albino assassin Matkina. They call her the White Death. She wore a camouflaging cloak and brought destruction in her wake. The last I heard of her, she was in the underbelly. He restrains a shudder. Seek her, but be wary.
I'm ready to learn something new.
Awesome! Your travels have left you more experienced, allowing you to advance. This will grant you the choice of improving your statistics, skills, or abilities. To do this, open your character sheet. I love opening my character sheet. Spend your experience points by clicking the plus button next to your experience meter on the left side of your screen. You can choose between 4 advancement steps. When you gain all 4 steps, you will increase your tier, unlocking a new selection of abilities and other bonuses. Okay, got it. Alright. Plus. Select one of the following options to spend your experience points. You can select each option once per tier. Alright, got it. I can increase my stat pools, my edge, extra effort. Oh, that's how much effort I can spend on something. Ability or skill. I'm going to start with my stat pools, and I'm going to start with intellect because that's what I'm doing. I'm just going to buff that a lot. I'm going to be smart, so smart, just using my smarts all the time for everything I need to do. Alright, cool. I'm down to 94 experience. Allegrin is at 134 experience. So it seems like I can't tell if me and my party members get experience differently. Like, what's going on? Huh. Anyway, I guess we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Nice to level up, though. I like leveling up. Who's taking off their trousers?
For instance, I've left you entirely alone.
Oh, I see. You're, Haha. I don't really know much about Tiber, but I'm gonna help him out with his thing. Anyway, first thing to do, and I think the last thing I'm gonna do tonight, is head on over and see if I can get Pat Rothfuss's character. I think I might know where they are. Oh, Autothon.
I'm
Huh.
ready.
It's a mouthful. I think the character's this way. I'm gonna save my game. And I know this is a little inorganic, and I apologize for that because nothing says I should go here next, but
All right.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it anyway. If you find yourself wondering where to go or what to do, check the journal screen to refresh your memory. Thank you. I do like doing that. So I'm gonna get the character, and then I'm gonna head to the government district to try to help Tiber out with his quest. I'm not sure how I feel about him. I haven't talked to him yet. I should probably talk to him first before I decide that. Oh, whoa. Whoa, okay, there's a lot going on here. Our lives are at stake! Lord Vunkern, Sega's townsperson, hooded thug, merchant, anyone named other than this Lord... I saw it sneaking around old Scour's place. I heard something rustling inside that crashed airship. What's going on? One at a time! One at a time! Hey, Lord Vunkern. What's going on? Lord Vunkern. Declaiming to the crowd is a well-dressed but sickly-looking man, short, dumpy, and an unhealthy shade of yellow. Despite this, he has the proud demeanor and the stentorian voice of a much larger man. He booms at you as you approach. Ah, another likely lady. Excellent. The people have called for deliverance from this ravaging Stickus, and a hero has answered. Most courageous of you. Scan thoughts. You are all heroes who stand up in the face of conflict. Whoa.
I'll remember that.
He smiles. All you have to do is be the first to find the rogue Stickus that's been terrorizing Cliff's Edge. Return here and tell me precisely where it is, and I'll take it from there. He pats you on the shoulder. And you'll be rewarded, I promise you. As the head of a slave family, I'll owe you a favor, and my favor carries a good deal of weight. You know what? Okay, can I ask you more about the Stickus and its kind? He nods. Of course, knowing the enemy is the first step to defeating it. What exactly is a Stickus? They are horrible, undermining vermin from another world. They tunnel beneath the streets of our city, undermining our homes and causing them to collapse. Our deaths are nothing to them. They don't even believe that humans are sentient creatures. Whoa, okay. Well, what can you tell me about this rogue Stickus you're looking for? He shudders. The vile thing appeared in Cliff's Edge a few days ago, and it's been skulking around ever since. The whole neighborhood lives in fear of it. Scan thoughts. They should be afraid. I make sure of it. Ooh. Okay. Okay. Why is Cliff's Edge so afraid of the Stickus? Some will tell you it's because this district has suffered the most from the Stickus digging. Houses collapsing on the people, others falling into the sea. There's some truth to that, but the real reason is that the people here have become weak and afraid. They aren't prepared to face adversity. I really hope this quest ends with me beating this guy. He leans in, warming to his subject. Indeed, if the sticker didn't exist, I would be tempted to invent them, for they are just what the city needs to stiffen its spine. Sagus Cliffs, our once proud empire, has abandoned its holdings and ceded its territories to autochthonous tribes and wild beasts. It's time to take them back, but how can we do that when our citizens have become lazy, timid children? Scan thoughts. They are the perfect opportunity. The weak will become stronger. You're right. Without conflict, people grow complacent. Active threats keep them on guard. But empires only serve the interests of a lucky few. Most people will suffer and gain little in return. The people aren't weak. They only need someone to lead them, to inspire them toward a common goal. Sagus Cliffs had an empire? Ha ha ha! But empires only serve the interest of a lucky few. Most people suffer and gain little in return. Golden Blue Tide, alright. He frowns. And how much more would they suffer without the Empire? The Empire serves all. Even the least in a strong civilization is better than often the best of a weak one. You've never studied history or know much about society and different social situations and cultures, do you, old man? Huh. Can I ask about you something else? Of course. Who are the slave families? He puffs up with pride. We are the descendants of the slaves who rose up with Chila the Great. They smashed the oligarchs who ruled the city and replaced their despotism with fair and egalitarian leadership, creating a city where anyone can achieve anything if they only try. Okay, so he's not a slaver. Maybe. Maybe he is a slaver. But that's a little bit better. Okay. Alright. Anyway, if there actually is a Stickus going about and messing up people's homes, I'm going to take care of that. Farewell. Because that's not okay. Anyway. What can I see? Eratus. Ooh, hey, there's the skyship. Anyway, I'm looking for an abandoned building, I think. An intoxicated woman. A hooded thug. What's this? Oh. Whoa. I love the steampunk vibe. Love how sci-fi this thing is with a nice mixture of fantasy.
On it.
Gonna look around. What's in here? Alright, trying to find this character.
On it.
I wish I'd memorized the location a little better. Oh, hey, dude. Karate Man. Aiden Sadabo. Ooh, cool glowy thingy. There's so much to do here. So much to do. I'm so excited. Oh my gosh, but I can't do it right now. Tormented Levy. Ooh, I can loot something. Quick save and loot. I get 27 shin. Sure. Can I go into any of
Gallagher,
these?
level with me. What did Calistasia's sisters get up to when the two of you were alone?
Oh my.
Having this conversation.
Is all you think about sex, Tibber?
Fine. I'll have to rely on my vivid imagination.
Oh my goodness. Huh. There's a dude over there just called Loss of Self. Yes, I'm gonna talk to that person. Finzen. Alright, looking around still, looking around. What's up here? Transition to another area. What's over here? Whoa. Hey, cool, nanos, like me. And, oh, machines that scan human bodies? Nice. Ah, there's so much to explore. But I'm still looking. I'm still looking for the thing I'm looking for. Can't go over there.
Fair enough.
Wonder if it's in this big old thing. Gonna head down. Just on the hunt quickly for Patrick Rothfuss's character. Past this cool looking machine. Who are you? Medallia Glittering. This is mostly collapsed house. This is another collapsed house. Okay. Avina, Zeb, and Nim. Ooh, another place to loot. I like looting.
Go.
Get some more shin. Just gonna take it where I need to.
Yes, now.
Loot over here. Take some more shin. Ooh, what are you? Oh, hey, that's the Stickus. Okay, cool. Well, I'm gonna go try and find what's-her-face first, and then I'm gonna take care of that Stickus. Huh, wonder if they're in there, in that cave. Let me check that cave quickly. Hopefully I don't get caught up in anything too... Oh, someone's just, like, hawking stolen goods. They were like, stolen goods for a fair price. That's intense. Gold tide represents charity, sacrifice, and empathy. There's Pauper. That looks like it might be dangerous to cross. Meatmonger, Pauper, Child, Pillai, and a couple of levies. Oh, whoa. Juvenile Stickists and a Chiquette? What is going on here? I don't know if this is where that person is. Maybe I'm not going to find him today. Maybe I'm going to go have to look him up again quickly and figure out exactly where I need to go with this. Ooh, loot. Get some shim out of this.
I'm going.
What is this wall up to? You find a jumbled pile of large rocks at the end of this roughly hewn tunnel. The motionless limbs of a Stickus protrude from the mound, the rents in its carapace painted with dried ichor. Alright, this is part of the quest that I'm not doing right now, because I'm looking for something very specific. Yo, there is a headless man walking about here? Oh my goodness. This is intense. Mutants, manufactory workers, supervisors, automatons. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. This is amazing. But I don't think this is the place where I'm going to find the character I'm looking for. Damn, maybe I'm in the wrong area. Anyway, I'm getting out. I'll come back to this. This looks awesome. Run, run, run. Exiting the building. I feel like I vaguely recall needing to be in the southeast. But maybe I'm just wrong about that. Mother Temaz. Oh, I wonder if I should talk to her. Eritis. Anyway, I'm gonna run up these stairs.
On it.
Piquo. These stairs aren't doing anything. They're not taking me where I need to be. Alright, yeah, let me try this mother person over here. A Dendra O'Her cultist. So many people I can talk to. Alright, quick save. Let me see if Mother gives me the quest I need. This woman glares at the air above her head, her fingers fretting with a single bead and a long, peculiar chain of them. Her low, angry muttering resolves into words as you get closer. Foolish girl, it doesn't matter what you were. The past is a land populated by wet-eyed nitwits. Nay, what matters is where you are, what you be. Are you talking to me? She blinks at the empty air, and her hands steal to a metallic, many-faceted bead near the end of the chain. I may as well be, she says, snorting. Mother Temaz knows ye, girl. Born falling you were, born in flames, shreds of your smoldered caul streaming through the air. When you struck ground, your bead first went cold, then hotter than a mother's hatred. She spits and shakes her head. Scarcely born you were, and already tangled in the past, seeking answers when you should be making your own. You think it's foolish to want answers? Nay, but only a fool seeks them from others. People are glad to tell you who you are, girl. Doesn't mean their answers are worth a pinch of piss, she sighs. You're confused, but that'll change. You have your feet under you soon enough. Not all of my children are as lucky.
I'll remember that.
This one, she says, showing you the bead she was speaking to before you arrived. It's carved in the shape of 2 overlapping spheres. Something's eating her memories, her thoughts, even her name. She calls herself Loss of Self, and she's going mad. Her fingers fold over the bead. Set her back on her feet for me, girl. Do that, and I'll return your call to you, improved through my art, and stronger than when you lost it. I like her. How can I help Loss of Self? Wait, is Loss of Self the character? You haven't been listening, girl, she says with a sigh. Don't help her. Convince her to help herself. Where can I find Loss of Self? She's... Mother Tremaz trowels off, closing her hand around the bead, staring into space. In Cliff's Edge. Look around. You'll find her. I'll do what I can to help her. Farewell. Stay safe, girl. Alright, so yeah, this person up here. Okay. Hey there, Loss of Self. Hopefully you're the person I'm looking for. Definitely feel like I want to do Tiber's quest and then drop him like a hot tamale. But we'll see. This young woman clutches herself and growls, low and continuously, under her breath. Pearly white light shimmers from a vial on her wrist, and her eyes are red-rimmed, as if she's been crying. You've never seen her before, and yet your hands are sweating, and your breath catches in your inherited chest. Shame burns your throat, hot and sour. Your body recognizes her, even if you do not. Whoa, that's intense. Scan thoughts. This isn't you. Only I am real. You don't need to fight me. Leave me alone, she mutters, and it's a moment before you realize she's not talking to you. You took my face, stole my family, whisper at me in my own voice. Isn't that enough? Isn't that... She breaks off when she sees you. She's in my head, and she won't shut up. Talk loud. Talk over her so I can hear you. Mother Tamaz sent me. I want to help. That grim old sack of bones, she says, trying to smile. I've never been able to fool her. No one can. She grips her head, staring at you from between the bars of her forearms. I've been hearing a woman's voice for a long time. She tells me that everything I know about who I am is wrong, and her words are persuasive. With a sound that's half chuckle, half sob, she continues. I can't remember my childhood or my family. Last year I forgot my name, but that's not all.
Remember that.
I see people who look like me around the city. They have my face. They speak in my voice. And once, I saw a ghost of her in the 5th eye. It was the woman in my head. She had a kind face, but it was sad. Like she knew she was going to win, to take over my body, but didn't want to. She clenches her fist. She won't win. I'll kill myself first. Whoa, I can persuade her to kill herself. No. Mother Tamaz thinks you should handle this on your own, and I do too. Alright, I don't think this is the character, actually. Which, damn, that's a damn shame. I'm gonna call it quits for tonight after I'm done with this conversation and try to find the character tomorrow. How long have you been hearing this voice? 6, 7 years? At first it was just a whisper behind my thoughts. Then I started forgetting simple things, like where a scarf was. Then one day I woke up and I couldn't remember my mother's face. Her eyelids flutter. I wish I wasn't scared, but I'm terrified. I can tell her, don't be dramatic. You'll fight this off. I know you will. Or die trying, she agrees, a brittle light in her eyes. I raised my red tide a little bit. Okay. Tell me about the ghost you saw in the 5th eye. She looked like... No, she was me, but I could see through her to the pipes on her walls. At first she wouldn't look over. Then she did, and the voice in my head. I couldn't hear words, but it felt like glass breaking, ripping my mind to slivers and shreds. She swallows hard. She was crying. She knew she was hurting me and couldn't stop. She's kind, understand? I hate her for that.
I'll remember that.
Her voice goes quiet. She's still there. In the 5th eye. She's always there. Have you tried talking to her? Reasoning with her? Why? She exclaims, tears of pain glittering at the corners of her eyes. Why should I talk to her when I can hear her right now? I could ask her if becoming someone else would be so bad, but yeah, I think the loss of your identity is pretty bad. And that's not okay, you know? I can see it kind of in a nihilistic way, like if you become someone else, then it doesn't really matter how you're feeling right now, but that doesn't mean you should just forget about the person you are right now or ignore her feelings. I want to talk about your family. I told you, I can't even bring their faces to mind, just shapes. Shapes in a sea of that damned woman's words. She clenches her eyes shut. I know you're trying to help, but you don't understand. Her whispers eat at me. They peel me away. How am I supposed to stop her when I don't even know who I am? Scan thoughts. They're not real. They never were. Only I am real. Funny you should ask. I'm missing a lot of memories too. Her lip quirks, and for a moment she looks more likely to laugh than cry. What a pair we are, she says. It's nice to know I'm not the only one. There's nothing you can say that I haven't already tried, she adds, her mouth trembles. She won't stop talking. She'll never leave. Someone must know who you are. Yes, but either they haven't come looking, or they haven't found me. She mashes her forehead with the heel of her hand. I'm not an idiot. I've thought about asking in Government Square. The council is supposed to have information on everyone. She laughs bitterly. But I've never made it there. Every time I try, I get lost. Or I forget where I'm going. It's hopeless. Scan thoughts. No one knows you because you aren't real. Only I am. Let me in. You said there might be records about your past. Where would they be again? Government Square, she says, her brow wrinkling. She appears to have forgotten that she was the one who brought up the idea. The council has records on everyone. Alright. So here's what I'm thinking. They're telling me that she needs to help herself. But she's trying to help herself. And it's not working. So I'll be back when I figure out how to help you. And she groans. And that's going to be it for tonight. Thank you all so much for joining me. I hope you enjoy the movie. If you do, give a like, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment below. If you really like it, check out the Mass Effect Andromeda playthrough. It's a blast. Not as much reading, of course, but still a blast. And I will catch you all later.